India is an adventurous paradise. You head out for a holiday, which quickly turns into a survival situation. A dream turns into a nightmare.
I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm lost.
Shelter, water, and food become a priority. A fire to keep you warm. But how? I'm Chandan Lahiri from OTA Survival School. I'll give you some tips and show you some tricks to use in a self-reliant situation. Do not think problems can only happen to other people. It can happen to you.
Shelter is the most important element, most tangible important element of wilderness survival, because it is shelter that's going to protect you from the elements. If it starts raining, if it starts snowing, if it's hot like now in the desert, if the wind starts to blow, if there's a sandstorm, if there's a thunderstorm, you need to find shelter. And there are many, many different ways of making shelter. The easiest possibly is to carry a tent. I don't carry a tent, but what I do have in my backpack is a top sheet. And there are possibly a dozen different ways you can make shelter using a top sheet. Your clothes form your first line of defense. They are your first kind of shelter. So again, in my day pack, I've got some clothing, a jacket, gloves, muffler, because in the desert it can get cold pretty quickly. So my clothing will be my first line of defense. Then I have my top sheet, and I'm hoping wherever I'm going, wherever I'm headed, I'll either find a cave, I'll find a ruin, I'll find a dugout, I'll find something where I can make shelter. Couple that, what I find in nature, couple it with my top sheet, and I'll have myself a shelter. Never underestimate the importance of shelter. We often do, particularly when you're going out for a day hike, but there are many people who would leave home, going for a day hike, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, leave in the morning, hoping to get back by afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and suddenly something happens. They sprain an ankle, they fall down, they get injured, they get dehydrated, they lose their way, and then they're lost. That's when they need to spend a night out and they're not prepared for it. Shelter is extremely important. Never underestimate the importance of shelter, particularly when you're heading out. And even if you're heading out for only a few hours, always be prepared for an overnighter, maybe 3 nights. And it's easy. All you have to do is carry a top sheet. And then if you know what to do, what to look for, how to rig up your top sheet, or some other kind of shelter that you have. I have an emergency blanket, I have a space blanket, I have a top sheet, all these small little things which are in my day pack, in my survival kit. And just in case I need it, I know they're in my pack as shelter. I can get sheltered from the elements whenever I'm out. And in case I get into a self-reliant situation, I know that I have the necessary equipment and gear in my pack, and I have the wherewithal to know how to use it. And keep your eyes open. There's lots of things that nature will provide as shelter. 2 rocks, sheltered from the wind, mountain at the back, that's shelter. When you're in a cold climate, if you find boulders, they'll be hot during the day, but when night falls and it becomes cold, those rocks will retain the heat much longer, making you much more comfortable. Find a place which is not windy. Don't sleep at a place which is on a dry riverbed. You don't want to be caught in a flash flood. You may not be able to get out of it. Know what to look for when you're finding shelter, but more importantly, don't underestimate the importance of shelter. It's extremely important, and what you carry in your backpack and what you see with your eyes when you're out in the backcountry, that's what's going to make you more comfortable. It may not kill you, not always anyway. Sometimes it can, but it'll certainly make your life a lot more comfortable. Shelter is important. In fact, it is the most important tangible wilderness survival essential. And remember, you'll need shelter, and it can happen to you. Learn to adapt, improvise, innovate, and overcome. To learn more tips and tricks, visit this site. I'm Chandan Lahiri, and I hope to see you soon at the OTA Survival School. Leave nothing but footprints. Bring back nothing but memories.